Welcome, everybody. Man, it's been a minute. I'm finally back to interviewing again. Again. This time, we've got somebody special, man, a good friend of mine, someone I've known for a while. He's kind of helped me with my debate game and a lot of other things. And I've learned he's actually doing music and he's doing hip hop music and everything like that. So I'm like stoked when I found that out. And I told him, hey, look, man, anytime you want to platform with me, let's do it, man. We can promote each other. We can promote whatever you got going on. So it's my pleasure to bring on the one and only Mr. Oz. What's going on, brother?
What up? What up, man? Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. But I gotta say, man, I'm very disappointed because you used to Jesus used to be your daddy, man. And you used to give glory to God. Now, what happened, man? How did that all change? I say that in jest, but
It's
go right ahead, man.
no, because it is. There's an element of it that is funny or slash entertaining, and that was so. Obviously, we're in a minute we'll talk about the album, but my I guess my foundation in music is I'm a drummer. Started playing drums when I was a little boy,
Ooh.
and always loved drums, percussion, all that, and I've always been someone to question, challenge everything, which was
Mhm.
probably very irritating to my parents. Actually, I know it was very irritating to my parents. But so I was always the one that had questions and just this curiosity, like, I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if this makes sense, And but it took me like 30 some years to really jump in and start to investigate and ask the really difficult questions. And there was a Sunday morning at that time. My brother's still the what do they call it, lead pastor, senior pastor, whatever. Now he still has a 6, 7, 800 member church, whatever it is, here in Fort Wayne. And at the time, I was the full time drummer. I
Mhm.
oversaw all of the small groups, and I was one of the youth leaders. So I was involved as a very simple way of saying it. I was all the way in, and that's what she said. And there was a Sunday which might have been the only Sunday that I ever recall this sequence of events happening. I didn't have to play drums. I had no small group uh, duties, and I had no youth group duties. And I
Mm.
found myself, I mean, we had chairs, but I found myself sitting in the pew. And
Mhm.
first, as the drummer, my responsibility, my number one responsibility is to keep beat. It's not,
Mm.
if you can be flashy and all that, cool, which there's a time and a place for that, and I can do all that. But, the best drummers are the drummers that you don't even realize they're there because
Mm.
it's consistent, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
So all I was ever really focused on was the twos and the fours, the twos and the fours. When's the break? When's the build?
Mhm.
When do we crash? When do we end? You know?
Mhm.
Well, this particular Sunday, I didn't have to worry about the twos and the fours and the crashes and the ends and the builds and all that. And I'm sitting there listening to the lyrics of this music, and the first thing that hit me was, hold on, that's not in the Bible.
Mm.
This is strange. Okay.
Mhm.
And now, mind you, I've been playing drums at that point for 6 years. At that church, I played for years and years before that. Uh,
Mhm.
I was like, all right, that's strange. Then the second thing with the music that hit me, I was like, not only is this not in the Bible, this is pretty weird. This is pretty creepy,
Mhm.
And yeah, so that kind of had me rattled, I think.
Right.
As a musician and one that I poured my heart and my soul and my spirit, into this music. And here I didn't even know what the hell they were saying. Well, then it was that same Sunday, my brother gave his message or his sermon, whatever you want to call it, that Sunday, and I don't remember even what the scriptures were, and I don't even know if he realizes or
Mhm.
realized it. But he had shared two scriptures that one towards the beginning, one towards the end. That I was like, hold on, we that is a flat out contradiction.
Mm.
That is a flat out. And then this light bulb went off, Scott. It was like ding, 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 ding. And it
Right.
hit. And I remember to myself sitting in that chair saying to myself, Oz, you have never in 30 whatever years it was, in 30 something years, you've never sat down with that book and read it for yourself. I'd read it. I was a student of the book, but I'd never read it without the lenses that had been provided for me,
Mm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
through the indoctrination of, and most specifically my mom, because my dad went, but he's never been like a highly, religious or
Mm-hmm.
passionate person when it came to that. But, my mom, youth pastor, and all that. And I didn't tell anybody, but when I left church that Sunday, I stopped and I bought a brand new Bible because I wanted to read it without all the highlights and the notes and
Mm-hmm.
the prophecies that were prophesied over my life. I wanted, to the best of my ability, I wanted to be objective.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be critical, and I wanted to view it through my lenses
Right.
and my understanding and what and how I took away from the text. And I'll end it with this part because this is part of that's funny, but this is the one I remember how fucking mad I was
Mm-hmm.
because when you spend 30 something years, you want this shit to be real.
Of course.
When Jen and I have talked about this. She lost her stepdad here recently. I lost my mom, July of last
Mm.
year. In those moments, you wish it was real.
Right.
You,
Right.
you wish you had that hope and that glory to look forward to, right? And I remember, so I bought that Bible, started reading, and then I stumbled upon two things here on the interwebs, on the YouTubes, and
Mm-hmm.
actually, before I ever stumbled upon the atheist experience, I somehow stumbled upon Anthony Magnabosco and street epistemology,
Mm-hmm.
and he starts asking the questions that deal with the outsider's test of faith.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Fuck me! Don't you can't ask those questions. That's not fair, Anthony." But so it was that really started to challenge my reasoning,
Mm-hmm.
how I'm, my logical process there. And then I remember the atheist experience. It was, I think, the second one that I had
Mm-hmm.
watched, and there was the three colors I remember, but it was the first and the third that I was sitting in my apartment here in downtown Fort Wayne, and it's when everything just fell apart for me. And the first caller called in and said, I'm trying to make sure I keep them in order, but yeah, the first one was was it Hosea 11, when the children's heads are bashed against the stones, and
Mm-hmm.
the unborn babies are ripped out of the wombs of the mother. And I remember Matt bringing those scriptures up, and I remember like slamming my space button, to pause the video. I'm like, this bald fat motherfucker's a liar.
Mm-hmm.
He's a liar. This shit's not in that book.
Mm-hmm.
Then I looked up the scripture reference, that he had given, and I was like, "Oh fuck,
Mm-hmm.
it's in the book."
Mm-hmm.
And then the third caller that I remember on that one, Matt went into, which is probably Matt's wheelhouse as far as dealing with this conversation, but he brought up slavery, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this dude just hates God. This dude just hates God. He hates the Bible, and he hates anybody that believes in it. So then, same thing. I went and checked Exodus 21. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Leviticus 11 or what it. I can't remember what it is in Leviticus now, but
21. Yeah.
um, he shared those. So I went and looked them up, and I'm like, it was after those two, and going confirming that what he said or what he was saying, what was demonstrably true and relevant in that book.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting back on my couch in my apartment, and I'm like, I can't believe this shit.
Right.
I can't do this. I can't, not with good conscience and not being honest with myself first.
Hmm.
I have no good reason to believe that there is an all good God that's going to do this shit.
Hmm.
So
Right.
I said it was going to be quick, but we know better than that.
Well, hey, that's it's worth telling because these things are complicated anyways. And it's amazing that you were so focused on drums that you didn't even hear the contradictions until you were actually set aside from that job so that you could actually listen to some sermons. And yeah, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. And now when you learn these, like the things about slavery and the dashing the kids against the stones, um, there's a lot of Christian arguments out there to kind of explain those things away. Did you ever look into that part of it? Or did you just kind of stop it there and that was enough for you to, s- you know, or what was that process at that point?
Um, I came to the conclusion that if I have to find a way to excuse
Mm,
bashing children's heads on stones,
mhm,
ripping unborn babies out of mothers' bellies, and owning humans as property, if I have to find ways to justify this,
mhm.
even if this God is real, I want nothing to fucking do with it.
Right, right,
So
right,
that was my position. I didn't want apologetics for it. I
right.
didn't do my conscience. I could not lay my head on a pillow and sleep well at night, knowing that I'm literally justifying the maltreatment, the abuse, the absolute utter nonsense and bullshit that is in that
Mhm,
book. I couldn't do it. So I didn't even look for apologetics. I didn't look for justification because I didn't want to be associated with anything that promoted that shit.
mhm. Now, before you left, of course, you were a Christian rapper, so you were doing Christian songs and things of that nature. How did that start off?
Oh, what had happened was,
What had happened was,
well, I've always been. And don't get me wrong. When I say this, there's probably people that remember me when I was a teenager. Yes, I've listened to other music. Like I was, and still am a huge Nirvana fan. Love Rage Against the Machine, Sublime,
hmm,
things like that. But at my again at my roots, at my core, I've always been in love with hip hop,
hmm,
and I think it's part of it's the drummer, the percussion in me,
hmm,
you
hmm,
know, is probably a big reason for that. But uh, so when I was about 12, 13 years old, I spent a few years ripping around the streets and doing what the fuck Oz wanted to do, and
hmm,
loving my sin, loving my sin. But
hmm.
but I was by no means an atheist. I don't even know if I knew what an atheist was then.
Right.
It was just I had turned away from God and I was pursuing
Mm,
desires of the flesh. Uh, I did that, and then uh, during that time, Wu Tang Wu Tang was my shit.
mm.
Love Wu Tang still to this day. Was my favorite. I don't care what nobody says. Wu Tang Wu Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Uh,
No, no, they're not.
and so coming it's funny because we just had Brady, aka Fanatic, on Tang talking about his deconstruction, deconversion story. But when I was in 2003, I was in a car accident where I had to be resuscitated twice, and
Mm,
uh, probably should have died if it wasn't for the fact that I am just hard headed as fuck. Uh,
mm.
I by all means I shouldn't be here. And
Wow.
so they're like that is what it is. But of course, friends, family, all being hyper spiritual, hyper religious. It was Oz. The only reason you're still here today is because God has this divine purpose and this divine plan
Mm,
for you in your life. That's the only reason you're here. Now, after you go through it, I was what, 22, 23 years old at that point.
mhm,
Um, you go through something that scary, that traumatic,
mhm.
I was fucking scared, man, because when I finally gained consciousness, I thought my body was in shock. I literally couldn't move. I thought I was paralyzed.
Oh.
And keep in mind, back then when I was young and fit and all that, I was an all-state baseball player. There was conversations of playing, college ball, and so I go from that to now I can't move.
Right.
Thinking I'm paralyzed. And then now friends and family telling me that the only reason I'm still here is because of this God character. I via fear jumped in head first,
Right.
with both feet,
Yep.
and so when Brady and I talked about this when he was on the channel, but Brady and Ambassador, and I think there's one other that was that were the original founders, but there was a Christian hip hop group, or group or label, whatever you want to call it, conglomerate, called the Cross Movement. And I remember I was in my brother's S10 pickup truck, and just fresh out of the critical care and ICU, all that, and healing up from the wreck, and I was like, bro, this, obviously I'm not cussing back then, but I was like, this Christian hip hop game is fucking weak. Like, their beats sound like somebody broke a Fisher Price toy out of the closet and put a boom and a ting together, and wanted to do, Dr. Seuss rhymes over it. The rat, the cat, skit, scat, that bit, it's like
Just wasn't real. It just sounded arbitrary. It sounded artificial.
Yeah, and there was no wordplay. There was no metaphors. There were no unique rhyming patterns or rhythmic patterns. It was just very all on the 2 and 4, and nothing creative. And he was like, well, let me show you this. You might like this. And I remember his exact words back then. He was like, I think these guys are off the hook. And I was like, bro, I've yet to hear any Christian artist or Christian group that I would even get close to saying are off the hook. And I played the song when Brady was on, but I remember he put the CD. All you young kids, a CD. He put the CD in the CD player, and the beat came on. I was like, hold on, this is a Christian group? Because it was a very like grimy East Coast, which is that's my shit, as far as
that's your shit right there.
what I listen to the most. And I was like, hold on, so these guys are about to rap about Jesus? He was like, yeah, dude. And by the time we got to the end of it, I was like, damn, not only are their beats dope, the beats are sick, but these dudes could actually spit. Like, these guys are actually like, they're rhythmic patterns, they're rhyming patterns, they're
flow patterns and stuff. Yeah.
Their wordplay, like, all of that. I'm like, okay. And I think at that point they had 3 albums out. I went and bought all 3, and then I thought that I had felt the Spirit of the Lord speak to me.
And he told you
that I was supposed to start this Christian hip hop group,
right?
And it was called Battleground. And I have our anthem song and our theme song if you guys want to hear it, but because actually I just reconnected with our producer just within the last month or 2, and yeah, it started there because I had loved Wu-Tang, and then the Cross Movement that was like the one and only similar group or whatever to Wu-Tang in this Christian world that I fell in love with. And so I was like, no, Christian hip hop need more quality music. We need guys that can spit. We need producers that could actually put together professional sounding beats and music. And that's how it all started. And we actually ended up being able to open up for some of the guys that were involved in the Cross Movement, which was like, at that time was like huge. Those were idols. Those were our
Right.
so, yeah, that's how it all started.
Yeah. Well,
I'm long-winded as fuck, dude.
that's all right. That's all good, man. And that's amazing. So you actually wanted to elevate the game. You found a genre, the Christian rap, and you love the Wu-Tang Clan and some of the real East Coast grimy stuff. Yeah, I just bought the vinyl of Wu-Tang Clan the other day. Because I bought turntables and all that stuff, so I'm a big Wu-Tang Clan fan.
Which one? Which
Wu-Tang
one?
Forever, the very first album, the one with Cream, Roughnecks.
Oh, Wu-Tang Forever.
Yeah, Wu-Tang Forever, baby. Yeah.
Ooh,
And yeah, so it's amazing. So you went into and I've heard your flow too. I've heard your those, because you played the songs on your channel, obviously, and sounded really good. It sounds like you really did step it up. When was the first time that you made a song? What year was that, would you say?
let's see, my rec was 2003, so I wanna say, well, as far as first, like, in a studio, in a booth, behind a mic,
Hmm.
like, that first experience, I still remember like it was yesterday. I'd say that was, like, 2003, so that would have been, like, 2004, maybe the latest 2005,
Mm.
and the first now, I'd written all the time before that, but it was in the bedroom, just pretending that I'm a rapper,
Hmm. Hmm.
and what kids do, but, and yeah, I still remember I remember being, like, so fucking excited, but so nervous at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and once you start doing it, it's a bug. Like for me, I started way back in the old days. Man, I don't even like to say when because it's going to date me like crazy. But back in the '80s, man, back in the '80s, I was, for me, I was working with all kinds of rappers on the East Coast, like in Virginia and Maryland, stuff like that. And but I could never find rappers that could, one, stay out of jail long enough. Number two, that could, even if they did stay out of jail, could they take it serious long enough to get a fucking song done with me? And I just learned how to rap myself. I just started I was like, even before the Beastie Boys even came out, I was doing this stuff and like, who's this guy? I think he's a white guy rapping or whatever. And the funny thing about that is all the guys that I grew up listening to, of course, were the electro artists and then the hip hop artists. And as it evolved through time, and people like MC Globe, Africa Bambaataa, Soul Sonic Force, and on up, from there. And now I have the chance on the channel to actually interview and even work with some of these guys now just by being on the channel. So it's a really big privilege for me to be able to do that. And it's still to this day, you get the bug way back when I was just a kid, and it stays with you forever. It's like you just want to write and you just want to record and you just want to do stuff. So I understand what you mean, man. And I know that you're really excited to be releasing your new material. Just a reflection of the new Oz, because I don't even think that was your name that you were going by back then.
Oh,
Uh,
no, no, no,
yeah,
the Christian stage name was Wretch,
yeah, wretch.
and, yeah, because still to this day, I'll still listen to, minus the words, like, my favorite thing, make sure I'm saying this, as far as just, like, if I'm gonna, like, sit down and just relax, chill, I'm not trying to get amped or anything,
Hmm.
I literally love to listen to the bagpipe version of Amazing Grace. I don't know what it
Mm.
is. Bagpipes are one of my, outside of percussion, bagpipes are probably my favorite outside of percussion. I love the sound of bagpipes, and,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, the bagpipe version of Amazing Grace, I can listen on repeat for hours if I'm just chilling, but it came from that song, "He saved a wretch like me," at that point, before the wreck, I was selling dope. I had like an 8 ball a day, cocaine habit. I was drinking myself to sleep every night. I was the wretch. I was,
Mm.
like Paul said, "I'm the sinner. I'm the chief of sinners." And I kinda adopted that, kind of that, uh personality, whatever that the
Mm-hmm.
Apostle Paul had,
Mm-hmm.
where it was like, no, I'm the worst of the worst.
Right. Yeah, the Apostle Paul,
The whole
a Pharisee of Pharisees. Yeah, crazy man. And then, and listening back to some of your music, you were a really good lyricist, man, to be honest with you. Like your lyrics were always in the pocket, man. And your flow patterns, like you said before, really on point. And did you make the beats? Because I know you're a drummer. Did you write the beats or did you have work with someone for that too?
Well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate that. And as a drummer, if I can't keep beating, I can't stay in the pocket. That I shouldn't be doing either. But I appreciate, I do appreciate that. And I would say, depending on the time frame. So Adam Bowen, no relation to Josh Bowen.
Hmm.
Adam Bowen was, our engineer, slash
Hmm.
producer. Sometimes it was him making a bulk of it, but then there are other seasons or other periods where I made most of it. And like that most recent one that I'd put on Facebook and Twitter and things, it was the Battleground anthem that we had for the last studio recording we were doing at the time. I wrote the original beat, and then Adam, being the genius that he is, he went and added some other things, just little layers, whether it was pads or whatever, to bring some more dynamic to the track. But yeah, I would to be fair, I'd say it was like 50-50.
Okay. Cool, man. That's awesome shit, man. Um, and so now your new material, um, obviously the content, the messaging has changed. I'm sure when you look back at that stuff, you're like kind of cringing, like, oh my God, I used to say this kind of shit, because you've totally turned around your worldview and everything. So obviously that's the case. But as far as your skill set, the beats, the everything, would you say it evolved? I'm sure it has, but in what ways do you think your new material has evolved aside just from the content?
Good question. So, first off, on this, let me make sure I'm being accurate. Yeah, on this album, I actually, yeah, all of the music I purchased
Mhm.
because I wanted to focus on the content.
Mhm.
And what I know is when I'm trying to do both, and I know this from past experience, in writing, trying to produce and write,
Mhm.
is one or the other doesn't get my full attention,
Mhm.
depending on the track and how invested I am in the music or how invested I am into the lyrics, or vice.
Mhm.
So with this, I made I was very intentional in that approach, and in knowing going into it, I'm going to find the beats that I know fit the feel,
Mm.
the message, the vibe that I want in this album. That way, I
Mhm.
can concentrate on what I'm saying, not what I'm saying it on. Um,
Got you. Got you.
but yeah, it's a I think it's a very and I think every artist, whether it's hip hop, rock, reggae, whatever it is, I think every artist says this and should say this because it should be very unique to you.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
but for me, it's a very unique album because it has the two or three, maybe four of your hype tracks. The
Mhm.
radio friendly, like as far as something that's catchy hook, and it's all that. But then there's other more, I call it feel music, where it's dealing with the fucking dirt, the dirty part of life, right? Whether it's
Mhm.
mental health, relationships, uh, breakups, divorces, parents, religion, you know, um, all that. And then I think there's two tracks that I don't rap at all. I sing, you know, and
Interesting.
um, and that those are the ones that actually those two are probably my favorite
Wow. I
because
I can't wait to get the album myself. to hear all of this work. Now, when you went through the selection process of purchasing your tracks and kind of putting the groundwork together for the project, what was on the outset? What was your um, vision with that? Like, what was it that you wanted to encapsulate with the music, with the tracks?
Once you get through all 17 tracks, I wanted it to be that this first one, I wanted to be I now feel like I know Oz, whether they've ever met me or not.
Hmm.
I feel like I know Oz and I can relate and I can connect to Oz through the music. It's relatable. Like
Right.
I feel like I feel this when I listen to it. I get it when I listen to it because there's little metaphors in there, about you know, uh, hustle and getting money, but those are very, 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 very few far. They're so sporadic that you forget
Hmm.
you know, and they're more playful than they are
Hmm.
serious. But yeah, other than that, I wanted it to be as real and authentic and true to who I am every single day.
Hmm.
um, that people that people hear that and they feel it and they grasp onto that because I feel like when you're an entertainer, whether it's music, artwork, actors, actresses, whatever, when people at least sense that you have that raw authenticity where if
Hmm.
I meet you in real life, I'm gonna get what I see or I'm gonna get what I hear. People tend to cling to that.
Hmm.
And um and so to answer your question, that was my from the onset, that was my goal. That was my
That was the vision. Hmm.
this is Oz, man. This is all the fucked up shit. This is all the nasty shit. This is all the
Hmm.
shit, whether it's abuse, trauma, divorce, shitty friendships, you know,
Mm.
great friendships, whatever it is. Like I want to put all this out there because the next album, which I've already started working on, I probably shouldn't be plugging the next album. We're talking about this one, but it's gonna be called Osmosis, and
Mm.
I'll let you read between the lines there. I'll talk
Mhm.
because that's literally gonna be like turning the page in this,
Mhm.
and that's how I'm trying to approach this. But yeah, hopefully I was concise there.
That makes me really that more excited to just go through it and listen to it and really um get into it because that's what I like to do. That's how I grade like artists. Can I really get to know them? Like, I forget exactly what artist, one of Marley Marl's old artists. When he first made his records back in 1988, he was just talking about, his rhyming skills. I'm the best guy on the block. I can rhyme. He had success. But then when he started talking about his life and telling stories, dude, that's when his records started going platinum, because dude was really going in and telling a story. And I think that's what people really gravitate. That's why the best rappers like Tupac, Biggie, people that are telling stories, Wu-Tang Clan, for example, they're telling stories, man. They're giving you the real picture, you
Absolutely.
know. And you're right. You're very smart for having that vision for yourself and trying to put that out there. So let me ask you, do you have anything queued up? I know we kind of did a little sound test to play some stuff. Anything you want to share right now? I really want to hear some of this material.
Yeah, so I thought we could go through, depending on how long it takes in between the tracks, because there's two of the pre-releases that are already out, that you can get Spotify, or iTunes, Apple Music, whatever.
Hmm.
But there's two others that as I'm starting to ramp up to the release that I want people to hear because the one I would say is the number one like catchy hooky hook song.
Hmm.
That's No No No. That was the second single that released.
Hmm.
And the other one I'll share is was the third single released before the whole album drops,
Hmm.
and that's On Your Mind, and that is very subjectively my favorite, and also Jenna's, because it's a song that was written for her and to her. That's on there, and then there's two others that that I want to play, because I want people that they're not released yet. They won't come. They won't be released till the album is released. But they give they it's the deeper part of me, as far as my struggle with mental health and bipolar, and what trying to communicate through music what that internal fight sounds like in my head, right? And trying to put that to words. So we'll start. I'll start. Let's do this. I'll start with the more serious ones. That way we can end it with a bang. How about that?
That sounds great.
All right, and just I know Jenna just jumped on, so I'll start with that. So because I know this is her favorite as well.
Yeah.
So, again, this one's titled "On Your Mind," and this one just released this last week.
It's called Undermined.
On Your Mind.
Oh, On Your Mind. Okay.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking. You don't feel it. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking.
Critic on the track.
You don't feel it. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking. You don't feel it. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking. You don't feel it.
Can I take a peek in your brain now? Can I take a peek? Are you insane, kinda like me? Can I ask a couple questions like, do you like me? And maybe do you think kinda like me? Looking around wondering, who are your friends and who are your frenemies? Enemies.
Tell me what you're thinking.
It's on your pretty mind, girl.
Tell me what you're thinking.
It's on your pretty mind.
Tell me what you're thinking.
It's on your pretty mind, girl.
Tell me what you're thinking.
It's on your pretty mind. Yeah. Can I get a sneak in and peek in? What are you thinking? I need to know, are we even on the same team? Yeah, dreaming and scheming of the same things, yeah. I see it, looking and watching. Wanna be you, they wanna be me, but they just dreaming. We finally tried 2022 bitches, yeah, we ride or die, yeah.
Tell me what you're thinking.
It's on your pretty mind, girl.
Tell me what you're thinking.
It's on your pretty mind.
Tell me what you're thinking.
It's on your pretty mind, girl.
Tell me what you're thinking.
It's on your pretty mind. Ooh. See, I got no more questions, and now I know the direction. Yeah, and I know where I'm stepping, and there's no second guessing or even half stepping. Why? I know me and I know you and I know all the bullshit that we done been through, yeah.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Tell me what you're thinking now.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Please tell me what are you thinking now.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Tell me what you're thinking now.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Right now, right now.
And that goes out to my boo.
Yeah, that is really nice. I know she loves that, boy. That's a really nice song, man. I like that a lot. That is so nice, man.
Yeah, that's and oh, stop. Oh, that's I put a rock track on there just to remind everybody how versatile.
There you go.
But
There it is.
when I say rock, like a Rage Against the Machine type rock, but no, I put a lot of attention in that song. And for those that love music and write music and compose whatever, I really took time on building the layers and the harmonies. And,
yeah. Did you sing those parts?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah. Sounds really nice, dude.
No, I appreciate that. And love you, boo. Love you, boo.
Shout out to Jenna out there, everybody else in the audience too. Look at the trees. And thanks for joining us, man. And like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And we're gonna have more interviews coming up. I was supposed to do an interview the other day and I forgot all about it. I let the guy down. Eric James. He I don't know if you remember this song called The Dip, baby. Back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. When I dip, you dip, we dip. That one?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, he was gonna come on Wednesday and I forgot about it and just got so busy, but we're gonna try to reschedule next week for that. And then we're gonna get MC Glow back on. And shout out to my man Soldier P. He's going to try to come through. He's also a up and coming artist, and he runs his own clothing company and things of that nature. And we've worked together in the past, so we'll hopefully have him on soon as well, and others, that we've got scheduled. It's just a matter of working that out. But at any rate, man, really nice song. Let's go into the next selection. What do you think is a good one to showcase at this point?
Yep. So,
that Tootsie Roll.
Put my hands up on your hip. When I dip, you dip.
You dip, we dip. Yeah.
So let's see. I think it's. Oh, let me play it. Yep. So this one is titled "Thank You," and this one I'm not going to say who or what relationship
Mm-hmm.
it was written to, because it could be one of three or all.
Okay.
And I want people to be able to listen. And I'm kind of playing Yahweh here. Where I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna leave it to interpretation.
Okay. There you go. That's
and because to be frank or transparent about it, each verse there's little nuggets or little pieces of it that are that have to do with either each of my ex-wives and or my mom, and the relationships there, and yeah, we'll just fucking listen to it. Sorry, I keep pausing because I keep forgetting it. So this is the other one that this is the second one where I sing. Then we'll actually get into that.
Oh, okay.
Where I actually spit bars.
Cool.
What if I did try? What if I did live that lie? What if I prophesied? Would that make you smile? Pick up my pieces. What are the reasons you left me standing alone? I do not need it. I don't believe it. So turn and leave me alone. Every time I smiled, I cried. If every time I prayed, I lied. If I told you I thought it was a lie. What if I told you I couldn't live this life? La 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 la. I do not need it. I don't believe it. So you turn and leave me alone. I don't believe it. So you turn and leave me alone. I don't need it. So you turn and leave me alone. I don't believe it.
Mm.
Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. Damn. You're gonna be a pop star, bro.
You know, the one thing, because we were talking about earlier, people being able to know the artist through the music.
Hmm. Yep.
And people can say what they want about Post Malone. Is he hip hop? Is he pop? Is he what? He is current day my favorite artist right now. And the reason I say that is that motherfucker doesn't give a fuck about your titles. He doesn't
Hell
give a
no.
fuck about your genres. He does and writes what the fuck he wants. And I wish and I hope more artists are paying attention to what he's doing,
Yeah.
because he's literally saying, I don't give a fuck about your box,
Hmm.
your box. I'm gonna do, this is music. I'm gonna write exactly what I'm feeling to whatever fucking music I want to write it to. And
Amen, man.
if
Amen.
you're gonna throw shade on a motherfucker for using this for first and foremost for self therapy, like
Hmm.
I wrote so much of this album during some of the darkest periods of my own personal life. Like
Right.
if anybody ever said, "Well, I thought there was a hip hop album. Why do you have two songs that there's no 808s, there's no beats, and you're singing? What do you think you're an R&B singer now? No, fuck you. I'll write whatever I want to write. you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but and I'm grateful that he's opened those doors in the hip hop world or industry, that it's okay to be you.
Yes. Yeah.
It's okay to be unique.
That's right. That's so important. That's what makes an artist great, man. It's not the cookie cutters, and it's not the flavors of the month. It's the guys that come out and speak what's out of their heart and speak what's you know on their mind. They're telling you who they are. That's what really captures our attention.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I even have a book that talks about how to make a podcast really successful, right? And it's a great book. It's an illustrated book, and the thing about it is, it tells you right there, if you really want to capture your audience and keep them on edge and keep them watching through the whole thing, you have to tell stories. You
Oh,
have to tell stories.
absolutely. And especially in America, we love reality TV, we
Hmm.
love reality radio.
Yep.
So just like hey, just like old dirty bastard said, "Ooh, baby, I like you raw."
Yeah, that's
Just
right.
give it to them raw, man. Like be who the fuck you are, and and like I could get on these albums and talk about and even try to pretend that it's fake. But I get on here and talk about when I was selling dope and moving weight and fucking
Hmm.
a pistol on my hip everywhere I went because I was literally worried about people murdering me.
Mm.
I could talk about all that, but why? That's not me today.
Right, 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 right.
That's so far behind me. That feels like a whole that feels like a movie at this point that I went and watched somewhere.
Mm.
So there's nothing more irritating than people pretending.
Right.
And not just in music, in real life. Like, just be authentic. Life is so much more enjoyable and beautiful and exhilarating when you just get to be who the fuck you are. It's anyway, I'll go on a rant.
No, it's great, Jules, you're putting out there, because this is how, people find happiness in life, joy in life, is to really be authentic at all points in times, even when you're going through bullshit. Don't try to fold over and become someone else, but be strong in yourself, man, and have confidence and dignity for yourself and pride for yourself. And you don't need God for all that crap. You can you can have that as you demonstrate yourself as a skeptic, someone who's a skeptical minded person. But also, there's a whole other box that you live in, which is your personal life, and it's your life to be happy, to be who you are, discover yourself, discovery, journey, all of that shit. So I resonate with that, man. That's really cool stuff, and it really makes me so interested to hear the rest of the album. Because that's exactly what we're gonna get. Is that kind of authenticity.
Yeah, and you're going to get it from all angles. Like I said, there's the sing, as Jenna would say, the sing songies.
Yeah.
There's one straight, like it's a rock song that I rap to, and then, like I said, the kind of the club bangers, the more serious, deep, thought provoking type beats and lyrics. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I put a lot of work into this, and I hope others enjoy it. And I do. I want people to take something from it that they can apply, and they hear that. You know what? Oz is right. Fuck this shit.
There you go. There you go, man. Hey, wow, Bob Marley. Artists like that, people that's got a message. That's what people really like to hear. That authenticity and that I don't give a fuck. This is how I feel. This is what needs to be done. That's awesome stuff, man. Is there another? I want to hear another song, dude.
I was about to say I have two more that I planned on.
Nice, yeah, let's do it, man. I'm loving it, man.
If you want to do more, like
we can do more. Let's go on. It's up to you. I just don't want you to, play stuff you're not ready to play yet or whatever. But there's whatever actually, you're willing to play, let's hear it, man.
Yeah, there's only a few that I haven't played yet. Let's see. I'll start. Well, two things before I hit play. One, I'm gonna go off camera for 1 second because during the last song I got all excited and spilt my drink. So I need I'm just gonna grab a towel.
All good.
And,
yes, sir.
But I'll be right back. And then I should have asked this backstage, so I apologize for doing it live. Am I allowed to smoke?
Yeah. Absolutely. You see me smoking? That's what I was doing. Yeah.
I always want to be respectful. So so this next one, this is actually the intro song album. It's called Sleeping Monster. And I'll talk more about it once we play.
Okay.
This is actually, it's funny that it ended up being the first one on the album because it's the first one I sat down and wrote like months and months and months ago before I even started putting an album together.
Oh wow. Okay.
I just started
literally first.
Yeah. So it's first and first. Yeah.
Yep.
You did it. You woke a sleeping monster. 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 Yeah. Now check my lenses. Yeah. Look through my window, my crescendo. Step up the tempo. My life's an innuendo, but I'm super like Nintendo. I bounce back like round ball. I'm the truth, Paul Pierce. Y'all still wet behind the ears. Your peers cried tears cause I spit so fierce. You did it, you woke a sleeping monster. 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 Yeah, I got a bad habit of smacking these maggots like I'm B-Rabbit. I told you boys to go grab it. Throw the life jacket. If you fell and bumped your head dead by 7.
That's tight, man.
So moving forward, do not feel the mention or pay attention. I am the 4th dimension. I'm the shark, motherfucker. Now you've been bitten. You did it. You woke a sleeping monster. You did it. You woke a sleeping monster. You did it. You woke a sleeping monster. You did it. You woke a sleeping monster.
That was hot. I like that.
Yeah, I love the way that beat drops on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Love that one. That's strong. All of this stuff is really strong, man. Just straight fire, man. And the lyricism is really nice. And up to this point, you've played mainly, your singing and the acoustic stuff, and that's just shows the versatility of you as an artist, and that's just amazing, man. I had no, I always knew you did music and you talked about it here and there and you DJ and stuff like that, but I'm just so glad I got a chance to actually hear your material because I'm really impressed, bro. Really like it a lot, man.
No,
So go ahead, man. Play us the next one, man. Keep it going.
All right, so I have one more, so I'll play 2 more. This one I've played before, but I've only played it. You know what? No. I'll wait on that one because I want to give a shout out because I only have one feature.
Okay.
One feature on this album, and well, fuck me. As soon as I say that, I don't think I have it on this playlist. God damn it. Yep. So never mind. I won't play that. But since I already said it, so Blatant Blatheist, for those that are familiar with Blatant, he's the only feature on there, and the beat's nasty, and Blatheist, it just comes on like he's on fire.
Who is he? How do you know him?
He's a from YouTube and Twitter, and he's been on our channel once or twice now when I do kind of those open room like ciphers. But dude's nasty. He's nasty. And yeah, he came in. Yeah, the precision. It was surgical. It was surgical.
Wow. I can't wait to hear that. See, you're building the anticipation.
Since Perfect. I don't have that one, which I thought I did, but I've only played this one other time online. So the name of this one is Try It. And I can't remember who and what were involved, but some had come up, or some folks had said something, and the hook literally popped in my head. Like I didn't have music for it yet or anything, but the hook popped in my head, which you'll hear in a minute. And it was, don't minimize my daily battle with bipolar. Don't minimize my internal fight that I have to fight every single day that you have no fucking clue what that's like.
About. Right. That's right.
And if you think you want a little dose of it, I dare you to walk in my shoes. I dare you. I dare you to try it. So that's why it's titled Try It. So
gotcha.
Let's get it.
There's a lot of people that have a lot of opinions and a lot of things to say about the way that I live my life. But just come walk a mile in my shoes, motherfucker.
You like Ozzy, don't you see there's a possibility? The other words and shit you saying, good. Incite violence, I'm not cool. Let's incite all this violence against these tyrants. Them tell us to be silent. Nah. Look under my eyelids, bro. I fucking dare you to try it. Do you believe? If you can see, I dare you to fucking try it. Do you believe? You better than me. If you can see, I dare you to fucking try it. Do you believe that you could be me? If you can see, I dare you to fucking try it. Do you believe that you could be me? I dare you to fucking try it. Mama did one thing right, named me Austin. For you, that's a problem. The sum of the equation, she named me greatness. I know that you hate this, my inaneness. It's heinous for your anus. Faith is still bullshit. That's a problem for you, ain't it? Get acquainted. Yeah, your shit's outdated, fabricated. Childish shit, I graduated. Do you believe? If you would see, I dare you to fucking try it. Do you believe? You better than me. If you could see, I dare you to fucking try it. Do you believe? If you can see, I dare you to fucking try it. Do you believe that you can be me? I dare you to fucking try it. Nah. They don't want to hear me though. They love their placebo. Alter egos in tuxedos. Got the beat for this credo. What up, Chico? Check the ego. Let's wrap it up like some burritos. Fuck mosquitoes. I'm hitting hard like some fucking torpedoes. Devil's advocate. Call me motherfucking Al Pacino. But you can be me. You can see. They the fucking try it. You believe. You're better than me. You can see, they the fucking try it. You believe, you can be me. You can see, they the fucking try it. You believe, you can be me. They the fucking try it.
Whoa. Shout out for that one, man. That I like that. I like that a lot, man.
That might be one of my favorite lines on the album. They're in love with their placebos.
Yeah.
Fuck, I just forgot my own lyric. They're in love with their placebos. I'm paraphrasing, but basically faking in a church, walk around in their tuxedos.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I was like,
really great, man. And by the way, I was supposed to be in New York this weekend, actually. I have an artist. I have to give him a shout out right now. He's up in New York right now at Quad City doing a performance right now and doing some press. And
oh, sweet.
Yeah, so it's an artist that I've produced him, put the beats and stuff together, and we've put this project out, and we're just kind of like promoting the shit out of it. So he's up in New York doing just that, and I was supposed to be there, but fuck, couldn't make it. But you know what? I did the next best thing, man. I'm with my man Oz, listening to some dope ass shit, man. Good Lord. I love it, man.
Ozzy Kamikaze. All right, so well, if you're in no hurry, I'll just play the last two singles.
Yeah, please play as much as you want.
These two are already out. You can go, these last two, you can go to iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, wherever, just type in the name. So this next one is Oh No.
And I got the link down in the description for that.
Sweet. Thank you.
Well,
Yep. So you can go, pre-sales have started for the entire album. And then these last two, so the one that I wrote for Jenna, the very first one we played, is also available, but these last two were the first two singles that dropped. This one, Oh No, and this is one of the, like I said, like three. I think it's like 3 tracks where I'm having fun. I'm just having fun. I'm just spitting and having fun.
Listen, they grimace when they witness this relentless sickness. Can this menace win this bitch? Check the litmus. I often ask, who let the pit bull off the leash? I mean, I've been seen hunting, killing, eating competition. Yeah, like bone appetit. And think you can hack it. Here's a mic, man, you can have it. I only needed one mic to stir up all this havoc. I'm a renegade, kinda like B-Rabbit. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! See, they try to sleep deep on your board, let us street deep, seek and destroy, steep and enjoy. See me, I employ. Taking off heads, motherfucker. Yeah, call me Troy. Panamana, fuck your drama. This my saga. Fuck your Jesus. Fuck your Allah. All at the same time. Try tomorrow. Oh, and Bible at it. Automatic at it. You stab at it. I grab this shit. And fucking had at it. Oh no. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, that song is just driving, man.
Yeah, that grand piano riff. As soon as I heard it, I was like, I don't even have words for this shit yet, but this shit's mine. This shit's mine.
Yeah, that's it sets the mood, and it's just driving all the way through the song, like focused. That's awesome, man.
I love that. In the for those that are football fans out there, they'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. That line says, "You can call me Troy, Palamala, fuck your drama, this my saga, fuck your Jesus and your Allah, all at the same time." Try and because it talks about taking heads off. Well, Troy Polamalu, for the football fans out there,
Right.
he was notorious. Like, he would literally jump over the defensive offensive line and literally take people's heads off. and he treated his body as like it was a missile.
Yeah.
Right? And I love that line. I'm so proud.
Yeah, you're doing good work, man. It's just surprising every time I hear another track. I'm like, wow, like it's just don't stop. And obviously I've heard the Oh No song, and that was great. But now it's just I already know how much depth the album's gonna have. And so this thing releases on October the 31st or the 30th.
On the 30th, Devil's Night.
That's Devil's Night. There you go.
That's where it got its title. And so people have asked, well, why Devil's Night? Why that? So one is, it's just a play because, of course, as atheists, we hate God and love our sin, and we are now the devil's children, right? And this is Devil's Night, but there's actually an added layer to this. It was Devil's Night of whatever fucking year it was, but the day, ironically, the day that I was talking about earlier, where I was listening to YouTube and everything fell apart from religious, was the exact same day that I officially signed my divorce papers with the mother of my children, and which was a disgusting divorce. It was nasty. It was ugly. And so there's multiple layers to why it's Devil's Night. And
Gotcha.
And those things are even interwoven, into the lyrics if you're paying attention. Know the story, or you at least learn the story for me talking about it. But so there's multiple purposes behind that. But again, because that was intentional too. Again, it's I want it to be, yes, entertaining, but every single step of it to be very, very relevant to my real life.
Mm-hmm.
And Devil's Night, yes, it's a play on my atheism, but it's also directly connected to some of the most fucked up things that have happened in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed sharing that. And the other thing that I'll mention,
Mm-hmm.
for the producers out there, you'll notice I use a lot of delays and reverbs, especially on the dubs or the ad libs, and that's very strategic and that's very intentional, because part of the other part of the one of the undertones that I want and I'm hoping people catch on to is part of being bipolar is not every single day, but most days,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's for 10 minutes, an hour, or it's 24 hours in that day, the racing thoughts and and there's no pause button, right? There's no, you can't make it stop.
Mm.
And part of that, the delay, and the reason I put that in, and sometimes you don't even hear it unless you're now people, as I talk about it more, they'll be listening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's very intentional because I want people to hear that. That's, again, another way of me communicating what's happening in my brain. Even when I sit down and
Right.
write lyrics, is
Mm.
and it just, some days it just never fucking stops, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to point that out too, because yes, lyrically I want to this, but even in the production, I want those things to even be in the production of the of each track.
Mm-hmm.
So those, yes, it's very intentional, and I personally, and I only owe it to myself to do that, and for me to be happy. If nobody else likes it, cool. I did it for me first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping other people catch on to the just those little subtle.
Those subtle things, but that makes it really interesting to want to listen to it, to really start keying in on some of these things that you're talking about, because that's your artistry coming out. That's the artistry, and that's what separates the fake shit from the real shit. The real shit has artistry and intention behind the entire production. And that's awesome, man.
Absolutely. And no, and Scott, I appreciate all the love and all the compliments, man. I do, and it means the world to me. And this will be your and I's conversation here. That this is going into my archive, because
Oh, perfect.
you're my first non-Tang interview / conversation about the album. So this will go into my archives
Well,
forever.
that's an honor for me. That's an honor for me. And it's going to be great for my channel because you have so many fans and people that know you. So that's just, a plus to have you as a friend, to have you as someone who's a fellow, content creator. We get to, join each other's platforms and do stuff. Even from the beginning, like when I met you through I think Justin at the time, he was known as Justin Downing, and you helped me to do debates. I listened to you a lot. You inspired me on that level, first of all, first and foremost. And just knowing you on that level, I thought, wow, this is a really great guy. He's a cool guy. He's well spoken. He knows how to put his debates together. He knows how to moderate. He has all these talents and things that he's doing. And I thought it was just really cool meeting you and getting you to actually help me with my debate game. I think you moderated the second one I was ever on with Victor Vargas. If you remember that.
Boy, yeah, I remember.
That was really live, man.
Cool, Vic.
And yeah, so hats off to you, man, for everything that you do. You're a talented guy. It's an honor. Forget about me saying nice words to you. I mean, it's just obvious.
No, I do. I appreciate it, and I'm. It's, and Jenna knows this. She playfully and lovingly laughs or giggles at me, because as much as I do these things, I'm usually the worst at taking or receiving attention or compliments or
Oh,
and,
gotcha.
and so but I'm trying to get outside of that box or that bubble.
Mhm.
I don't want to ever be perceived as not being grateful or humble.
Oh, yeah. Mhm. Right.
But no, and that's why I tend to repeat myself a lot there. That it's probably me overcompensating right now because I'm teaching myself to get outside of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
But no, I got one more. I got one more if you want to hear it.
Let's hear it, man. Let's hear
And
it.
this is we played the 3 singles on Tang the other night when the final single dropped,
Mhm.
and we ran a poll, and that's why I saved this one for last. We ran a poll, and it was for the most part a slam dunk. This so far from what people have heard, that this is the fan favorite, the fan favorite. And this one is titled "No, No, No," and you'll find out why.
Okay.
You just went and made things dirty. No, 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 all you did was just desert me. No, 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 you thought all of this would hurt me. No, 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 no. Brand new caddy. You just went and made things dirty. No, 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 all you did was just desert me. No, 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 you thought all of this would hurt me. No, 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 no. You just went and made things dirty. No, 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 all you did was just desert me. No, 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 you thought all of this would hurt me. No, 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 no. Damn, it must suck. Tried your luck, took me for a schmuck. Didn't realize I'm a man, I'm a word and not. I don't really give a fuck. I'm still that dude, snap, head to head with dump trucks, still running the muck. What you take me for? Some weak little boy wanna play games like I'm a fucking toy? Look at my face, look at my eyes, they do not lie or disguise. Try to deny to all your friends, misguided in the pride that I'm the bad guy and the reason we said bye-bye. But rest assured for me it was goodbye, goodbye. You just made things dirty. No, 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 all you did was just desert me. No, 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 you thought all of this would hurt me. No, 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 no. You just went and made things dirty. No, 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 all you did was just desert me. No, 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 you thought all of this would hurt me. No, 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 no. All of the changes, but I'm the one changing. Who, when, and what are you actually replacing? Now it's amazing, see you behaving, paving the way for the bye-bye waving. Who will be fooling? My schedule ruling, fueling and ruling. But hey, for the time, thanks for the lessons learned, now burned in my mind. Now I'm inclined to outline and remind. You design, sign, you resign. So when you're out there telling my story, look down the line and make sure I co-sign. You just went and made things dirty. No, 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 all you did was just desert me. No, 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 you thought all of this would hurt me. No, 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 no. You just went and made things dirty. No, 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 all you did was just desert me. No, 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 you thought all of this would hurt me. No, 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 no.
Nice job, Kitty.
Yeah, to what Jen, what Jenna just said in the
2 versions.
well, yeah. So that one, I forgot I uploaded the wrong ones. That was the version before I went to mixing and mastering. So actually, on the album, the verses will be reversed. What was there will be the second verse, and there's a beat drop at the very beginning when it does the guitar / ukulele, whatever that is, and it stops, and then I say, "Bitch, you crazy," and then the beat drops. So that'll be on the album. But that's one of the other tracks where that's written with four dare I say no, not people, four I guess you could say four people, whatever, agents, four agents involved. We're going to get into philosophy and debate here. There are intertwined in there is my two ex-wives, my mom, and Yahweh are all
Mm.
involved in that song. And you can try to decipher who's who and what's what.
Okay, okay. Well, look, Jenna's like, I know your music, man. I know all that stuff. I already knew there was another version out there. She
Oh,
knew that, so I know she's proud of that. I know she's so proud of what you're doing right now. That's awesome.
yep. Oh, and yeah, she's the first one that gets to hear. She gets to hear the rough mix, like when there's no
Mm,
there's no mixing, there's no mastering. It's just, oh, babe, I got this idea, or I got this
mhm,
idea, and it's I'm about 3 or 4 tracks in on the next one, as far as the concepts,
mhm,
and where I'm going. But I'm 2 verses, 2 verses in the hook and on the intro track for the next one for the osmosis, and it's called "Welcome to My Matrix."
mhm,
Um, and this album now this is more strategical, or I guess the business part of it.
mhm.
And when I say this, and for the record, I am not comparing myself to Eminem because he's, if not the greatest, one of the greatest to ever do this. So I'm not comparing myself to that. But from a business standpoint, he knew exactly what the fuck he was doing, because the first several albums, I'll say at least the first 2 albums that he did, he kept it very simple
Mhm,
as far as rhythmic patterns, rhyming patterns, even though they were still very intricate and
mhm.
very detailed. You didn't get the like Rap God. You didn't get
Right. Mhm,
you didn't hear any of that, because people need to know you first, and you
mhm.
nailed it, like we talked about earlier. But the Welcome to the Matrix, like already
The
that first
templates. Yeah.
the first verse, if you listen to Devil's Night all the way through,
Mm,
and
mhm,
then when Osmosis comes out, and I, I take it a step further as far as trying to show again that I'm being raw and real, but also here's another layer of my versatility. And not
mhm,
only can I do the very systematic, grimy type beats and bars that are on this, but the first verse I come out and it is that, because I can do all that too, right?
mhm, mhm.
That first one, yeah, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna the next one's gonna be yeah, I'm not even gonna talk about it. This is about Devil's Night.
Absolutely, man. I cannot wait for that. Anything special that's going on that night? Like, are you gonna have a party? You gonna have a release party? What's going on?
Yep, I'm glad you asked that. So on the 30th, that's what, Sunday, yeah, Sunday night, we're gonna have a Devil's Night watch slash listen party, and we're gonna hit play. We're gonna go track 1 through track 17,
Nice.
and
I'm gonna be there.
we're just gonna chill, vibe, and all that. And I'm gonna kind of resituate my studio area here, and because I want it to be different than how people see me normally stream on YouTube.
Mhm,
You know,
mm,
I want it to be very unique in that, and I'm probably going to utilize my smoke machine and my lighting,
mm,
everything, from that we'd purchased for better, because I want it to be special and fun and entertaining, but also just all my people, man, all my friends,
mhm.
my new family to have fun, experience that, with me, with us, and yeah, so it'll be 10 p.m. Eastern time on October 30th, Devil's Night.
And the link to his channel is in the description. So you guys go over there, subscribe, um, check it out. Yeah, I want to be there for 100%, man. That is amazing. I really love the material, man. I want to respect your time. We've gone on now for almost an hour and a half, and I just want to say thank you for coming on and having this moment with me, because to me this is an honor, man. Because this is like the first you're stepping out to actually talk about your music and your album and everything, and you came to me. So I just want to say thank you so much for that, brother. 100% support here, um, always. And to my audience, man, check out his channel. Check out his new single. I have the link in the description there too. Um, Next week we're gonna have more people that we're gonna interview and stuff like that. But tonight was one, if not one of the best interviews I've had. Listening to your music and learning so much about you. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in, and you guys have a great night, man.